Joe and I were, truth be told, this is my third go live Long Beach, and still trying to figure out a little bit of the kinks where we are on Facebook. So I'm looking, and it's saying going live, and it says in under a minute. So we went out
And
early,
and I am seeing it on Facebook. So
um, yeah. Are you seeing you live on Facebook?
yeah, so
Oh, that's
I
good
have
to know.
Facebook Live on my phone,
Yeah.
and then you and I are here on the Be Live platform.
Okay. All right. Well,
So obviously something works there.
it works. Yeah. All right. So I guess the first thing I want to say is big news. Joe L. Mendez was a real estate agent with Coldwell Banker Coastal Alliance, and that is where you and I met about 12 years ago. That's where I started my training and career in Long Beach. And big news, it made the press telegram. You are no longer with Coldwell Banker Coastal Alliance. You are with
Coldwell Banker Realty, which
Real.
is a subsidiary of Coldwell Banker Corporation.
Okay, so Coastal Alliance was a
A franchise.
a franchise, and it
Right.
was Phil
And so
Jones and Chris Conrad, been around business forever, right?
forever,
Phil Jones has
correct.
been on probably every board of importance that could be. But
Now, the
so
interesting
yeah,
part is that when I started with Coldwell Banker, it was an NRT office, which was a corporate office. But then when I actually was supposed to show up for work, Chris and Phil had bought the office as a franchise of Coldwell Banker Coastal Alliance. So I remember I called,
oh, how funny! I did not know that, huh?
yeah, I called the office and because I was going to talk to the broker that I had been working with. And then I got Chris and I said, I'm supposed to start work today. And she explained that NRT had sold it to them as a franchise. So funny how history kind of repeats itself, huh?
Yeah, yeah, that is funny. Yeah. Yeah, so Joe and I met 12 years ago. And Joe, you want to tell them what you did before you got your real estate license, your little career path here
Sure. I was in pharmaceuticals, so I worked for GlaxoSmithKline for 20 years.
in
I was
sales,
in
obviously?
sales as a consultant. Really, I basically carried around drugs and gave them out to physicians. So I called on physicians and hospitals and so forth. But I was with GlaxoSmithKline for 20 years,
Oh,
and then they had a major layoff. And luckily for me, I was 3 years away from retirement, and I fit within their window, so I actually was able to walk away with all my packages, and I didn't lose anything. But
was that in 2008? Was that
it
the
was at the end of
economic?
2007, yeah.
It was, yeah,
And
everything
so
was.
then I sort of kind of was at a crossroad, and I had already kind of been dabbling in real estate as an investor because I had bought a property up in Alabama, and I really liked it. And of course, I bought my own house, and I really loved the process. And so I sort of kind of thought to myself, I could do this, and I'm really kind of tired of working in corporate structures. So I took a leap.
There you are. I think that's a really common story for people who go through the process of buying and looking for a house, and they enjoy that process so much that they stay. That's a pretty common, I think,
I think especially
scenario.
if we have a sales background. I've been selling something since I was 8 years old. I
Yeah.
used to sell Avon for my grandmother, and I would go to the neighborhoods and I would have this Avon book, and I would sit on the porches with old ladies talking with them for about 15, 30 minutes, and then I'd walk away with a large order.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I love doing this live stream because even though I talk to most of the people I've had on here, it's just I always learn something new that I didn't know about you, Joe. Avon lady, huh?
Yeah. How about you? Why did you get into real estate?
Yeah. I think it's something I always wanted to do. My story is I went to school and got a biology degree and proceeded to immediately go get my real estate license in New Jersey. Yeah, I just think that I'm entrepreneurial, and I knew that at heart, that I wanted to work for myself. I wanted to, what I put in, I wanted to get out. And unfortunately, at that time, it was the mid 80s, and real estate in New Jersey sort of really took a dump. Nothing was selling. So thank goodness I had my biology degree, and I went back and I used that, and then moved to California and children and taking care of parents. And then finally, 12 years ago, time was right. And here I am. And I always did part-time sales too, with the background thinking, I am going to go back and get that license. And yeah, I'm overjoyed to be here.
So you've been in real estate now for 12 years, and so it'll be
Uh-huh.
14 years for me in May.
Yeah, and just like everything in life, blink of an eye. It's like, oh my goodness, wow.
And you and I kind of took off when you first came. I remember we took off because the whole social media scene was becoming a big deal in real estate.
Yeah,
Remember? And you and I just went like gangbusters.
yeah. We had the Coldwell Banker, which does give very good training. Plug for them. They had the social media coach back then, and we had those flip cams,
Those
which made
flip
it
cams. Yeah.
so easy to take videos. Yeah. And now here we are, 12 years later, and it has, thank goodness, there's some really smart people out there that have let us do things like this. This is, this is beyond awesome. It's like program, live streaming, Facebook, YouTube. So yeah, it's just been keep you young, keep learning, keep you on your toes, always learning something.
Absolutely. We're still doing videos and taking pictures, but now using our iPhones.
So we did get a comment from Pam Doris. Thank you
I,
so much, Pam, because
I saw
I'm
that.
struggling to know if I'm out there live. And so she says Pam Doris is a stager in Long Beach. She's used by many people. She's very good at what she does. And she says, so you want to be a stager? Everybody says, oh, that must be so much fun. Good.
What is the name? What is the name of her company? Is it?
She's Design It. And yeah, she just does. She's talk about somebody who's entrepreneurial. Wow. But she's got a warehouse right here in Long Beach, and so she's very mobile. Quick on her feet. Which in real estate, that's the name of the game, right? It's like, okay, get it set up quickly, pictures quickly, get it to the market, broken down in time. And Pam's just wonderful to work with. So there you go.
Great.
Plug for Pam. Thanks
Cool.
for the yeah. All right. So let me see.
Well, keeping to the topic of, so you want to be a realtor?
Yeah. So how does this happen? How do you become a real estate agent?
Well, you have to
And
study, of course. That's the first.
right. I didn't know. So actually, I got my license in New Jersey, and I took the class, which I highly recommend. Just go pay the $200, take the class. They'll tell you what the questions are. You'll pass the test, and that's what I did. So here, I was like interviewed with brokerages. Okay, so I'm going to go, and I thought, oh, same thing. I'm going to take this. And so in California, you either have to have classes that maybe you took at a community college that satisfy, or there's three different, I was going to look that up before we got on, but yeah, three different tests that you have to pass, right? You have to read this book, take the test, and then you have to wait, there's a time period. So it takes even doing it as quickly as you can, it was about a good 4-month period before I
Yep.
could even get to the point of taking the test. And then you take the class, take the test, and then from there, then you have to have background check from the Department of Real Estate, thumbprints. And I don't know if it was my name or my thumbprints. There was nothing. There was nothing personally wrong, but it took me 9 months to get my license.
Wow. I don't remember
Yeah,
it
that's what.
taking me that long, but I
Well,
do.
it's because it got hung up. It was the classes, it was the test, and then it was the background check. I mean, I was talking to people up in Sacramento. They knew me. I was calling every day. I was like,
Wow.
"Hello, help me." So yeah, so that's why I just I did that video. I said, don't quit your paying job until you absolutely have the license in hand and you've hung your shingle someplace, because as real estate agents, we cannot conduct business. We have to do it under somebody who's a broker.
Right.
Correct?
All I remember is that I did the studying, but I remember the test. Wow, it was like a 6 hour test or a 4 hour test. I mean, it doesn't take you that long, but all I remember is it was a long test, and I didn't pass it the first time around. I had to take it twice.
Did you take the class?
I did take the class. Yeah, I was doing the class at the Coldwell Banker NRT office.
No. So this is what I say. They have those classes that you pay. It's sort of like, I don't know, you just pay the money and they're going to show you absolutely the questions that are on the test. And if you read the book, when you go to take the test, there's no correlation between the book you've read and the questions on the test. So I looked it up before we got on. It's $200, and it's probably even easier now because it's probably online. So yeah, good money invested. Pass that test the first
It is.
time.
You have to study for the test. It's really just memorizing a bunch of questions and the answers to know the
Yeah.
answers.
And like I said, those classes, they just outright give you the questions.
Right.
Sort of a
And then,
sort of a
as
crazy
Michelle
thing.
said, as you said, we have to hang our license with a broker. But then after we've been selling for a couple of years, and you could get a broker's license. And what would be the advantage to that? Like in my case, for example, I want to do property management, and I can't do it under just a real estate license because my E&O insurance won't cover me. So I have to
Mhm.
get a broker's license in order to be able to do property management, but I have to sell for 2 years, which I already have, right?
Right. Yeah, and I think, Coldwell Banker was always promoting that, any type of further education. There's so many different classes we can take through the Department of Real Estate, through California Association of Realtors. And yeah, I think sometimes if you go and you're promoting yourself, it is, some people are like, well, I have my broker's license as well. I've decided not to do that at my tender age, but yeah, there's definitely advantage. More education, always better. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was one of the things that was said to me when I first got my license and so forth. They said, never stop learning. You
Well,
gotta
you never
keep
do.
learning.
You
Yeah, you
never
never
do.
do, and it's because the market changes all the time, the
And
dynamics
every
change.
transaction's different, and
Even today, we're having to learn how to do business today in a different climate because of the COVID thing. So
right,
yeah,
right,
you have
yeah,
to.
and it is the fun part of the job is that it's never boring. Can
Oh
be
no, it's never
frustrating,
boring.
but never boring. Yeah.
Absolutely, it is definitely not boring.
Yeah. And so, just also talking about different brokerages, ask somebody, ask other realtors, interview with brokers. There's just some brokerages that are known for giving really good training. Keller Williams, I think that they probably have a very good program, it seems to me. Nationwide around here is known for giving classes and training.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of a different opinion. I mean, honestly, I think that the training that you get, yes, different brokerages do a much better job at training. I think Coldwell Banker, that's the reason why I went with Coldwell Banker, was because I knew they had in-house training. But a lot of times, some of the training that they also do comes from other places, and they just
Right.
incorporate that training into their own training. So you're
But they direct you like when
correct.
we were saying when you and I started. Well, we probably wouldn't have known about what were those things called? The boot camps. I forget what they were called. So they may not be giving you that direct training, but they tell you where to find it.
Yeah,
And
I remember when I joined, I went actually onto the car website, and I went to PWR, which is our board, which we should talk about. Every real estate agent needs to belong to a real estate board. So
true, we should bring that up. Taking the test, like I said, $200 for the class. It's not that expensive to take the test. It's not that expensive to get the license. What's expensive is joining a board.
right,
Right.
yeah,
And
because
what does the board give you? The board gives you access to the MLS,
right, and it also
which
gets
is
you access to NRA, which is the National Association of Realtors, and the California Association of Realtors. So yeah, and it's you have to belong to a board. You can't sell real estate without belonging to a board or a broker.
right, right. And that's our golden ticket, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
we have that. Yeah.
and I think the other thing that we should also mention is that it does take money. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
do need to
Yeah.
have a good chunk of money to get started because you have to pay for your cards, your signs, any kind of marketing that you want to do out there on your own. You really are an independent
Mm-hmm.
sole proprietor.
Right.
Your
Right.
broker is just your broker, but it's not.
Right.
They're
There's not
not paying for any of that.
everything. Yeah. You're hanging your shingle there
Yeah.
and hopefully getting, I mean, they do give some tools. I mean, I think with you, right, you get a website and a contact management. I'm sure you get that through Coldwell Banker and things like that. But generally it's all on you.
Right. And then there's also a monthly fee, or at least for me, anyways. There's a monthly fee. Everyone else might do it a little different. Different brokerage may just have you
Right.
pay an
And
added
that's
fee
why.
every time you have a transaction.
Right. Yeah. So when you go and you interview with different brokerages, take your pen and paper there and, ask, okay, what are your fees? What is the commission split? And yeah, just have your questions lined up to understand what you're getting into. But I think on the board, I think it's like $1,200 for the year to to be on the board, just straight off the top
Yeah,
there.
yeah, it's about about $1,100, I think. Yeah, just a little
Right.
over.
Right. Right. And then the other stuff like for marketing, you just try to keep that as low as possible. And you can do a lot of marketing on the cheap. You have to, work hard, but yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, especially today. I mean, there's many ways that you can market yourself today that are inexpensive,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
especially with social media.
Yeah.
But the one thing that has also been said to me, and I'm sure it's been said to you, is consistency. You have
Yeah.
to be consistent.
And no matter what type of marketing you're doing, this is true. Yeah.
Right. If
It's
you're not
true.
consistent, then
Yeah.
you may not make it. And I've always also said that real estate is a numbers game. The more people you talk to about real estate, the more chances that you
Hmm.
increase your odds of getting a client.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So, as my next topic, I put up how realtors are paid because, this has been in the news, Joe, that, we're not allowed to say you're working with a buyer and the buyer says, do I pay you? And, oh, no, you don't pay me. Well, that's not really the correct answer, right? Because they're going to buy a house and a percentage of whatever they're paying for that house is going to be split in commissions between the listing agent and the buyer's agent. So really, they are paying us. So this is where our wording, we have to be careful, right? So we're paid through commissions, and commissions are flexible, right? Correct.
They are. Michelle and I differ on the commission issue, but yes.
Well, when you take a listing on the very first page in bold letters, it says commissions are not fixed. And the reason that came about, there's history in everything, right? It's just everything that you see. Okay, why is this like this? And it's because people would go and take listings and they would have it pre-printed and they would write in a percentage and be like, oh, well, that's what the percentage is. So the the Association of Realtors, the attorney said, no, you have to make it very clear that this is not set up by some higher department, that commissions they're negotiable.
They're arbitrary to a degree. Yeah, and it really depends on the service that you're providing. There's a full service agent, which most of us are, right? Because there's a number of things that we do as listing agents that maybe some other agents may not do,
Right.
and I think that kind of plays a little bit into how much our commissions are. But one of the things that's coming up lately, as Michelle might have mentioned, is that we're at a point right now where we are going to possibly be forced to share what our commissions are. Because I don't think
You
that's
know,
happened
I
yet,
meant
right?
I meant to look it up before I got on. I heard that Redfin is putting it out there, but I did not. I was on my to-do list and I didn't check. but yeah, I guess the reason for that again is we set up searches for our clients on the MLS. We can take a geographic area, we could take a size of a house, we can take a, the cost of the house, obviously. But I guess another filter we could put on would be the commission, how much commission is being offered. I just honestly, I've never done that. It never made sense. It's like, they're going to find out about the house anyway. So, I don't know. But that's how that happened, right? It's just like you can't filter and not tell them about a house because the commission offered is not what you want it to be.
That's correct. Yeah,
That's
you have to show a house if they want to see a house. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I guess, and some people are doing, and this is how this happened. I honestly, I'm like, that's fine. Let them know what the commission is. I have no problem with it. I'm like, okay, sure, fine. It's all good. It should be out in the open because we're back to the same thing. They ultimately are paying the commission, so they should know. I think it's the right move, personally, Joe.
I guess the other part that we should also mention to this, because we get this all the time, is especially with buyers, they want us to share our commissions with them, which we cannot do, right? We cannot share our commissions with the general public. You're nodding your head.
We'll call the car. I'll call the Car Association of Realtors when we get off this call. Which, back to people who are going to be a real estate agent, no matter how much training you get, California Association of Realtors, you are paying for them. If you have a question, pick up the phone, get the right answer before get yourself in hot water, because that's the one thing we just want to make sure we do everything correctly.
Yeah, everything in real estate really is about keeping everything legal and protecting ourselves as well as our clients.
Right.
And along those same lines, we just go the I guess was it the California Association of Realtors, which is technically our legal body as well, because they're the ones who set up the contracts. So we actually just went and started using a new contract, and I think it was December the 15th. And so everything that we do on that contract is legally approved by the California Association
Yeah,
of Realtors.
I mean, everything's written into a civil code. Yes, it is. Do you know that we have the NRA, National Association of Realtors, which is why we can call ourselves Realtors, because
Which is a trade name.
Right, when we're a member of that association. And so their I'm going to call it their bylaws, is what they're known for is the golden rule, right? And it's so true. Just it's how you should live your life. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So yeah, it's pretty simple, but
I agree. It is pretty simple.
Yeah, it is pretty simple. All right, so I think we've talked about how agents are paid, and then I think we've had some good tips in here about advice for new agents. Anything else you can think of, Joe?
Have fun.
Yeah.
Have fun. It is a wonderful industry, and it can be a wonderful industry. It's a great business, but I will say it's not for everyone. I mean, I have seen a few people that come on to wanting to be an agent because they think they want to make a lot of money, and they think you're going to make a lot of money. Well, you can, but it's not for everyone, and not everybody makes a lot of money.
No. Yeah, it's a lot of work. The percentages are against you, actually, for making money. But yeah,
We enjoy it, so we're still having fun.
Yeah, I said this is sort of my sarcastic side. I always say, you run into somebody, oh, I'm getting my license. Yeah, oh, good luck with that.
Good luck. Exactly.
Yeah, but I
luck.
really am teasing. But it is, you work hard. It's again, it's entrepreneurial. It's having your own business. There absolutely is no downtime. You're in charge, and you just can't drop the ball. But you can't take it too seriously either. I think I said this on my last live stream, but Sheila Pope, she said, just remember, Michele, nobody's going to die. Like, okay, it's important, but nobody's going to die. We'll get through it. Yeah. And you just have to be able to take rejection too. You do have to.
Absolutely.
Toughen. Yeah, you have to toughen that skin up. But just go into it like, gonna get a no, and then if you get a yes, you're like, yay.
Yeah, it's 24 hours in a day. That's it. Something bad happens. Hey, you wake up the next morning with a new day.
Yeah. And another thing I like about this industry is just the people you meet, all the other agents and the vendors that we work with. It is really special.
It is, and we built relationships. I think.
Yeah.
I think that's what I enjoy. I think, and we build relationships with people because.
Right. I mean, just like any job, what gets you through? Your coworkers get you through, and just met some just fantastic people and had experiences that I wouldn't have had.
Absolutely. Look at you and I. We met through real estate. So
yeah.
And here we are.
Here we are. When I walked into that classroom and saw you, I was like, oh, least likely person I'll be friends with. Here we are.
And here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
Marty Vogel. Marty, you should be on this because you are the conversationalist. She wrote good conversation. Marty, you always have so many stories. We should just pick 4 stories and talk to you.
So is she also an agent?
No, she's a friend, and a newer friend, and she's just amazing. She just has so many experiences. But anyway, thanks, Marty. I appreciate it. All right, I can't really think of anything else, and we're coming up on 11 o'clock, so I like to keep this. I run a tight ship, Joe. I time block.
I know that.
Katie Lance, are you listening? I'm time blocking.
Well, that's, yeah, we have to give, a little bit of, what is it, to Katie Lance? Cause
yeah.
If it weren't for her, we wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, she's I always think, get social smart, right? Get social smart.
Get social smart.
Get social smart is her tagline. And she's a good trainer. Listen to other agents for ideas. Kudos to her. But all right, Joe, you go and have a good day. Stay cool. I don't know if it's hot out there. It's probably going to be hot.
It's going to get into the high 80s, I think.
Yeah. But then hopefully it'll be a cool one because I'm not ready for this. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for anybody who's listening. And if you have any questions about becoming a realtor, or if you need a real estate agent, you know where to find me. Don't call Joe.
Find me? No, call me. Call me.
Bye,
we weren't supposed to have that.
Thank you so much.